Epaphroditus, my fellow laborer in the gospel. Hop on a bike and join me on this early, misty morning as I head to school and as I get with some other teachers and talk about what mentoring means in our lives and how it can be more effective at our school. This isn't the only journey. I have logged lots of miles on this bike and lots of miles on my journey of sanctification.
So thankful to have trash pickup and be able to pay for that because of supporters like you guys. God has been so good to me. And I pray for these guys as they pass twice a week that they would know Jesus. They would know the hope that I know and that you know. Would you pray with me for them?
All right, showing up for an optional run with the cross-country team in the Rajpat Gardens beside the university. Beautiful, beautiful place to run. Showing up here, see what students want to come and get some good slow mileage. And slow mileage is the key to building your endurance. But I'm telling you, just check out God's creation that we get to run in. Oh look, our meeting place. So I was just getting super pumped in class, talking about inflation, the business cycle, and I don't know, this stuff just gets me excited because I think that maybe students might be prepared to handle economics better in the future. What a joy it is to be able to shape young lives. I was just reflecting too how much of a physical conservative I am. This shirt actually I bought in the used clothing market. And first of all, you'd probably think the used clothing market is somewhere that's gone here to buy used clothing. No, actually, this is bought from the used clothing market in Uganda, East Africa, 5 years ago. God provides, and if we take care of our resources, like I'm teaching these students to do with inflation and the business cycle, we can experience those blessings for even longer. I love being a good steward. Continue to do great work in that yourself.
As part of my regimen of self-care, I've been going on some long runs, and these runs just give me so much joy and help me to rest. And the idea of these runs is to get just lost enough to be able to rest, but not lost enough where I don't make it back for dinner or anything like that. And so these times have been great where I can have places to go that are safe, where I can just be in God's nature. What a blessing it is to hear the wind pass through the bamboo. Find a place that you can go to in your journey where you can just enjoy God's Spirit moving and Him showing off His awesome creation. Disadvantages of being tall. Watch your head when you walk in the bathroom. Note to self.
Well, it's been on there for about 8 hours. Mr. Pete said I should try to take it off. He did shave my hair, but I still am taking a bit off this morning. Okay. Well, there it is, yo. Watch out when you go into the bathroom. Moral of the story.
Would you pray for students and I as we navigate these halls and climb up these stairs every single day? We'd have minds open to the gospel and open to learning, as it is hard work and the kids are stressed.
The call to follow Jesus begins in the heart. Jesus called his first disciples on the side of the water. As the waters came up slowly, the disciples came up quickly, leaving their livelihood to follow Jesus. He called them to so much that was difficult, so much that was hard on them, that it required sacrifice of him. But what he called them to was a relationship. To follow him through his entire life, to walk with him, to eat with him, and then one day to suffer with him, so that they might become like him in his death. My answer to the call of Jesus to follow him has been so many times tied with my desire to serve him. But God's molding of me has created so much joy, so much peace. Sometimes the molding that God does in my heart is what he calls me to. Because only through the molding that Jesus would call in my life, only through that molding can I begin to serve him. Sometimes the shape isn't what I want.
sometimes the shape of my heart is how Jesus ministers to me in such a way that I can become a powerful instrument of the gospel. How has God been molding you? How is God using circumstances, His will and His word to mold your heart? I pray that you would allow Jesus to mold you today so that you might follow Him and make many disciples. But please don't forget, before we're called to make disciples, we're called to follow Him. So let Him mold your heart, friend. For I am the clay, and you are the potter, Scripture reads. Let's not get those twisted, but let Him mold us. Let Him mold us for a greater work, a work of the heart, and a work of making disciples.
So this tube of toothpaste has been through a lot. Can we flash back to see exactly how long that's been? Oh, almost hit my head there.
But what we're going to do is we're actually going to use this tube of toothpaste to sort of catalog our journey. So as I show these videos, you'll get a snapshot of this toothpaste tube in as creative way as possible. And you'll see it sort of begin to dwindle. This much more time. Time can still be measured, even in quarantine. It feels like a year. It can still be measured through toothpaste.
Check this out.
But also in the mundane, as I brush my teeth, as I see God's faithfulness move around me. Over all this time, this journey has been going on. You guys have been faithful to pray for me on the Baptist Church. You've been faithful to pray for me for Baptist Church Walnut Ridge. You've been faithful to lift me up, Union Grove Baptist Church, and so many other people on this journey. On what seems like the mundane parts of ministry, sometimes comes out as that journey that's walked with Jesus and His sanctifying work. That goodness continues with me. So subscribe. I pray that you would join me on this journey as God sanctifies me, as He uses me, and somehow some of that overflows and affects people around me. I happen to be a teacher. I happen to live in Thailand. How is God using your journey? How is God using sanctification in your life to make disciples of all nations?